So in this video I'm going to show you how to set up Go High Level to send emails. Don't get me wrong, I don't recommend this. If you've got the money to go and buy instantly and do it through instantly, do that because you will get better results. However, if you wanted a completely free way to get this started and set up by buying a domain, this way is completely free. You can use the leads that are already inside the community. We can get you a Go High Level account, so everything will be done on there. So, hello, my name is Daniel Spence and I run Automation X, which is an automation agency that builds really cool automations and lead generation. What you want to do is start with connecting a domain. Follow the instructions on there, very, very straightforward. We've got our main one on here. I would recommend doing another domain so you don't need to set up a subdomain like this. But second that's updated, you then want to go to email services and then use the this one and the dedicated domain and IP and do it through there. That's what I'd recommend because then it will use your domain, use it as a secondary domain. So ours, for example, our cold email one is automationx.com, whereas our main one is automationx.co.uk. So you've got those two options on there. Once that's done, you're going to need to know how to upload contacts. So you're going to use this upload button. So once you've exported the people into row 0, extracted all of them, or just pulled the data from Snove or anywhere else like that, you can just go and do it from there. So click on here, get your contacts, click next, upload them. I've got a demo one that I can show you now. Click next on there. Go High Level is really clever with this. It allows you to kind of upload them in any kind of format. So as you can see, there's name on here, just change the name, any of that kind of stuff. You can just go through, add it, change it, postcode, whatever you want on there, just to build it all out. You can then, you need to click, don't import those ones, click next. I'm not going to do it just because I don't need these adding to it and I don't want it to confuse our team. So I'm just going to leave them for now. But once they've been added, they will then appear in the contact section, all laid out like this. Once you've got that, you will basically have tags for each one. It won't let me actually see that. Let me pick a random one on here. So on here, you've got different tags. So lead type, these are all pre-formatted on there, but the bits you're actually interested in is the tags. So there. Automations, which they will get added to in a bit, and then where they're at in an opportunity pipeline. So you can use the trigger points as opportunities. So this can be the fact that they've shown interest in here, that might trigger it. We've got one on the automated follow-up. So anybody who's in here is getting bombarded with emails all day, every day. So it's just there to kind of have conversations, reactivate the leads off the back of that. Follow me for loads more tips. So let me show you what that automation looks like, and then I'm going to show you what you need to do for the cold email one. So let me just sort it from new to old. So let's do, so this is the no-show sequence. So this is basically building out that all of these just trigger. So the trigger point is pipeline showing it as no-show. You can obviously change this in here, so it's all of those. It will basically, after they get flagged as no-show, it will wait an hour and then send them an email and an SMS. Wait a day, send them an email and an SMS. Wait a day, so you get all the way down until it gets to here, and then it sets a task for me to manually call them after what will actually be like 3 weeks by that point, and then we can kind of move them to other pipelines. This is really easy to set up. The most complicated bit is getting this set up in the right way. Close that. Got an hour wait on there. In fact, it says an hour wait. It's actually a 30-minute delay, which is fine. And then it will send an email. You come in, add your email, copy in here, pick which email you want it to be sent from. This is what you want to add. I wouldn't recommend sending links, but because we've contacted these people before, because they've had an invite already, you don't really need to worry about that. So let me just find the cold email one, which will be the bit that you're actually most excited about. You can tell we've got plenty of these, it might be easier for me to search. So the email database reactivation, that one will work fine. Cold email, drip campaign and follow-ups, that's what you really want. So you can choose the trigger to be whatever. So like we talked about earlier, you can have the pipelines and use the pipeline section. So actually that person being inside, what's the word I'm looking for? inside the pre-contacted, so before you contacted them, it can be in there, and then you can do it that way. That can be the trigger point, so it's sat in there that actually triggers the automation. Or you can do add tags. So if I just go, I'm just going to open another tab so we don't lose that one. If we go into there, so on the opportunities here, you can actually filter down by who's already been added to tags, so contacts even. More filters, so you can do tags on here, and basically search for them, or is empty, so you know that they're not tagged, and then you can bulk edit them off the back of that. Okay, where have we got to there? So yeah, either way, it doesn't really matter what triggers it, as long as something triggers it. I would normally use the pipeline, because then you can add in changes to the pipeline. So you can add on here like pipeline change. What do they call it? Opportunity. Follow me for loads more tips. Create or update an opportunity, so you can add that in here. So whichever pipeline it is you want to update it from, shown interest to, or to be fair, if they've replied, then they're taken out of the automation. So it depends what kind of response it is. So you might just want to add like a replied option, so then it's logged as a reply. I would add that to each one of these, so each level of this. Obviously, if they haven't replied, there's no point changing them, just keep them being contacted. But yeah, change the trigger point and then write the first email. I would honestly consider doing a drip option. So this is literally just a way of kind of like choosing how many get sent every minute. You can make this as high or as low as you want. I would normally stick around the 100, if not a little bit lower, just to protect your domain on there. So once that's gone through, it will then rattle through. If they get a reply, it will go this way. If it doesn't get a reply, it will go this way. Those weight variables, you can obviously change how long you want to do for. But yeah, it will just kind of run down off the back of there. These wait ones are set as time delays, so you can choose the window, wait 24 hours, wait 2 days. We normally wait 2 days in between each email that we send. However, you can do this as many as you want, and we normally send 1 first email and then 3 follow-ups like have been built out here. You can then cycle back through, so you could technically contact these people again in a month's time, in 6 months' time. Most of these people forget that you exist, so it wouldn't hurt to kind of recontact them over and over again. So you've got those 3 points. I would then obviously have the update pipeline. So once it gets to the end of here, still no responses, you could then add them to another campaign, or hasn't replied this time, which then builds another one of these campaigns which has the first wait here. We probably need it before actually. First wait here to be a month, so that then it waits a month before this runs. That would be what I'd recommend off the back of that. So then you've got like, it will basically have multiple stages of follow up within there, or 6 weeks or however long you want to do. That is pretty much everything on there. So obviously the email copy, you want to add in your normal copy. There isn't the option to syntax it. There's obviously variables in here which are all in here, so any of those ones you can add in. Write the copy, add the handle link if you want, and name and signature and everything. The main thing to remember is make sure your emails is actually linked in here, and then obviously who it's sending from is all set up properly. But it's dead straightforward, so you won't have any problems going through it. And if you do, just put a message in the school group. Follow me for loads more tips. To be honest, I think that's all. Yeah, the main thing to add on to the end of each one of these is the opportunity update, if you're going to do it that way. If you're doing it on a tag, you could just have this tag one as like, yeah, well, this one's warm lead from email. Perfect, that's more than enough. I would use pipeline, so you might want to just swap that with the pipeline or leave both. And then you can just kind of email back and forth with them off the back of it. So the other thing to note is what happens when these emails come in. So they come into this conversation tab. You get an internal notification. So like this one's replied to me today. In fact, we've been going back and forth with them for a little while. So that gets logged in here. You can see their updated opportunities and so on as we go through. I'm just going back and forth saying, basically say no, it's not interested in the end, which was a bit of a waste of time, but hey ho. But that's how they're going to come through. They're marked as unread until you, as read until you mark them as unread or reply, and then it saves it off. You can also send SMS follow-ups on there as well, and you can do the equivalent on the automations with email, with text as well. You just need to allocate a phone number to it. So I hope that was helpful, and there was no questions off the back of that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else you need to know. Each individual actually ends up with one of these for them anyway, so you can see what stages they've been through and so on. But yeah, I hope that's helpful. Give that a go. Any issues setting it up, let me know. The email setup bit can be a bit complicated. However, you'll be fine once you get the hang of it. Just link your domain to it first. You can change your business email on here. Business phone we've set up as the work one, so that all of that's on there as well. But yeah, any questions, let me know. Cheers. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe.